Good morning, everyone, and warmly welcome to the Kehä Symposium 2025. Great to see you all here and great that you are there online. My name is Marita Oja. I am the head of the board at Ilme Cultural Cooperative, and I'll be moderating today's discussions, and I'm honored to be here. The program brochure and also the slideshows will be including a QR code linking to Mentimeter, and we hope that you could post your questions or comments there if you wish to participate to the discussions. And also feedback would be very, very helpful, and you can also leave that to the paper version or then online. On behalf of Ilme, I would love to thank everyone making this symposium come true and Kehä-festival come true once again. And especially personally, I'd like to thank Timo Harju, Aino Granlund, and Tuija Pasanen from Ilme. Congratulations, you've done an amazing job. Well done. Aino and Timo will now open the festival with a few words, and then after that, we will see Jaakko Autio presenting a demo of Nature Within Luonto sisälläni. Thank you.
Warm welcome to our symposium. My name is Aino Granlund, and I'm an operations coordinator at Ilme. And I've been producing Kehä-festival with Timo and Tuija for a few years. And we are very happy that you're here, and it's all happening now. Thank you.
And also happy to see you. And then there are some mysterious people somewhere in Europe, like behind computers maybe, and also maybe in Finland. So I'm happy that you are out there somewhere. So that's really nice. And I think we will just tell shortly about Ilme and Kehä that we want to share with you, a one-to-one festival. Yeah, so we are from Ilme, which is a cultural cooperative that is focused on community-based art. So we really want to work closely with people, and perhaps because of that, it's really natural for Ilme also to do one-to-one art, which means just being with one person and doing artwork for them. And so it's kind of all about people and contact, this work of Ilme. And we are doing very local things here in Oulu, but we also have open calls, like national-wide open calls, and cooperate with different organizations. And lately we've been also having international cooperation, which this is a really good example. I will tell more about our important partners here soon. And yes, what we want to do, we want everything we do to be really diverse. We want to have more diversity in the society and arts, and somehow I think they are linked, can be linked somehow in ways we don't kind of know or I can't explain. And we want to do accessible art, and we are not ready with that at all. But here, we are trying to do some bilingual stuff, and one-to-one art itself is always you are with the person, and you can take that person's feelings and situation into account. So that's also accessible. So we are kind of around the accessibility here, and diversity that rises from all of you, because there are so many of you here and everyone is different. So diversity and accessibility are really important to us. And then let's go on. And Marita, then you tell me when I'm talking too long. I have probably already, but no. Okay, great. Yes. Yeah, there's just a few examples, like more, to put things more concrete. What we work as a production center for community art. So every year we have an open call and we produce a community art piece. And the idea with that is also that we have a network here in the Oulu area where we'll have conversations with people here and people from different care institutions and from the city, like what kind of community art is needed. And then we have a call and the artist comes here and we try to support them to do their work. And we have really, we have many partners, especially like in the care sector. And we here highlighted this Kuulluksi-hanke, which was with Tampere University and many different workers in Finland. And most importantly with hoivatie here in the Oulu area. And we will have one person here in the panel discussion, Mikko Oranen there. And yeah, and the time is kind of running. So, and here we are with our like one-to-one core. So we have been organizing this Kehä-festival since 2015. So it's like, it's our 10th anniversary, which I'm really proud of. So if you kind of clap at some point, it's kind of now. That would be nice. And for us, and for me, it's been like really important to have all the works, like always in an open cultural event to everyone, and then also take them to places where people have hard to access art. So it's kind of the way of we can do the accessibility part here. And it's, for me personally, I've been doing one-to-one art a lot in my life in jails and hospitals and different care centers, and somehow it's been just really eye-opening for me, and I felt that there's like it gives so much to me to be there, but also like people how much they can get from the one-to-one encounters, and if you are in a jail or maybe in different places, you are old, you are lying in bed, you can't come, but the art can come to you. Or, so it's like always we can go to people where they are, and that couldn't happen if we didn't do this. So it's like important. Yeah, and it's important that we can actually do like really high quality contemporary one-to-one art always. Like we can take it to institutions, and if there's like care, we can take it to the contemporary art, and we can have artists from both fields, and that's like the bond and the circle here is the thing. And the project we are doing this with is 1 more minute. Okay, so now what is funding this is European Union, so I say it, and we have a Creative Europe project that is now funding this. So we have Kehä-festival here, and then we have a residency in Croatia, Klanik, with House Collective. We have our lovely partners Dunia and Jerko here, and we have, I say this wrong, Cato Escaldado, but that's not how you say it in Portuguese. So we have our partners there in Portugal, and we also have one-to-one festival in Portugal. So we have 2 festivals in Oulu, and the residency for that in Croatia, and we have been curating works together and selecting works together, and artists go to some go to all 3 countries, some go to 2 countries, and some only to 1 country. But we have been curating program together, and we got big amount of proposals, art proposals, like 300 from like, I don't know, I don't remember. It's like 40 different countries or during this year, and like so this year like 300 proposals. So there's like a lot of demand for this inter art field, and I'm so happy we got to select these like amazing artists we have here. And And we have a portal for this. We are trying to build a network to connect different people doing one-to-one art, because this what we are doing is so important and so marginal, and a network like this didn't exist before. And like Kehä-festival is the only festival like this in Finland, and even like on European level, it's like there are people doing it, but there are no platforms. So we are like trying to create that.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jaakko Autio. I'm one of the artists in this festival. And usually I do this thing. I have an EEG reader. It reads my brain waves. And on the screen, I have my digital double. And usually on this festival, I'm in a room with one person at a time. And we sit together. And usually I give this to the other person. And then I put some music on, we sit down, and then we watch how the other person's mind fly. So this is just a short 5-minute demo, and hopefully I'll see some of you today in the workshop. So it's early morning. Let's take a small brief moment. I'll sit by myself with you, I'll listen to music, and let's see what's happening in my brainwaves and mind today. Welcome. Tämmöistä tänään. Kiitos.
Kiitos paljon. Thank you. Next, we're going to have a presentation of one-to-one artistic encounters in care environments by Riku Laakkonen from University of Tampere. Welcome. Before I let you begin, I'm just going to let you know that after Riku's presentation, we're going to have a 15-minute break or a bit less, depends on the discussion after Riku's performance. And then during the break, you can see a bit of vocabulary from one-to-one art. And you can find the link during the break from the slideshows, and also it's behind the program if we have the brochure. Also, in the link tree, you will see Emma Feld's online art piece called Celebrating the Distance. And also you can see some of Ilme, you can see Ilme website and Kehä website, and feel free to see what's behind the links. And also, one more thing, has anybody seen the person? Because we have the person in here, and in Finnish, they are called tyyppi. And if you look just behind you over there, at the very top, there is a light. You can barely see them, but you still can. I'm sorry to interrupt you up there, but I just wanted to let you know that the person is a part of an art piece created together with children in foster care and together with Hoivatie, our beloved partner. And they could represent any youngster, and has stimulated some reflection in adults encountering them. So if you meet them, feel free to sit down together, perceive how they feel, how they might feel, how you might feel around them, and write something down for them, because there is a box and you can write something if you feel like it. So sorry, Timo. Suomeksi. Ihan lyhyesti suomeksi, same in Finnish, just briefly. Tyyppi istuu tuolla ylhäällä. Hänet on siis luotu nuorten kanssa yhdessä, Hoivatien kanssa yhteistyössä tuolla sijaishuollossa. Ja hän on kulkenut itse asiassa jo hyvän matkaa, niin kuin ollut monenlaisessa mukana. Ja hänelle voi halutessaan kirjoittaa, tai hänen kanssaan voi mennä istumaan ja tunnustella, että minkälaisia tunteita se herättää. Hyvä, kiitos. Mutta now I will let Riku start, and I will be moderating the questions and the comments. So if you have anything you want to ask or comment, we have a short time after the presentation. And after that, we'll have a break. Okay, thank you.
Kiitos, thank you. Nice to be here. Good morning, good day. And first of all, great thanks to Cultural Co-op Ilme inviting me here. So, as you can see, and as it was said, my name is Riku Laakkonen, and I come from Tampere University. I'm there working as artist researcher, and my today's presentation will include some insights from my work during the years, and also some references from literature. And then also I have one experiment which I would like to try out with you. Of course, that is totally voluntary. And at the end, I will show a short video clip from the palliative care. Okay, but now let's start. So I have written down there on the slide that I am a puppetry artist. So that's like the main thing I have been doing. My background is in theater and in puppetry. But the word puppetry is kind of tricky one, at least here in Finland. So normally when I go to work in different care environments, in different care settings, and I say that I would like to do puppetry with you, and then when I ask what's the first association comes to the mind of the people who are working, for example, in a nursing home, I can quite often hear that one of the first associations is this kind. So it's kind of like a sock puppet where the buttons are made to look like eyes of the puppet. And I think that kind of association here in Finland, it's because we don't have not so long tradition in puppetry. And mainly puppetry is done for children. But actually my career, I have done almost all my career puppetry for adults. So when somebody says to me puppetry, my association could be something like this. Okay, I have to change here. So here is one Catalanian puppet called Death. So just to show you who are maybe not so familiar with puppetry, that there is wide variety of different kind of techniques and styles and aesthetics, how puppetry is done all around the world, actually. Yes. And here you can see some more photos from the works I have been doing in different communities. So I have been working with professionals and non-professionals since 1998. So, and the first time I can remember that I've been doing like one-to-one art, it was 2005. Of course, at that time I didn't know anything about that kind of art form, and I was not using that kind of words. And the reason behind why I went to do one-to-one art was that I was working in that time kind of like artist in residency in one nursing home at Tampere, and there were people who were so kind of like ill or that they couldn't participate in those events I was organizing in common spaces. So then I asked if I could go and visit in the rooms of these people, and I got a permission to go, and then I had to develop a performance which I could take with me to the rooms of these elderly people. So that was my first meeting with this kind of art form. So I had to think the aesthetics a bit differently, and of course the meeting with one person at one time, what that brings into that kind of artistic situation as well. And talking about language, then I had to really start to think how I talk in this nursing home to the staff of this nursing home, that I would like to do puppetry in person's room. So I had to think what kind of words to use that, for example, those kind of like associations the nursing staff had, that it didn't prevent me to go to the rooms and make my art there with those people. Yes. So then some more words about the things I'm developing right now, or been developing like quite many years, and this kind of thinking is also part of my PhD studies, which I'm doing at Tampere University. So I explore collaboration with material objects and participants, and develop a new form of object theater, which challenges a classical status of spectator and builds instead a new partnership between an object animator, and a spect animator, which means participator spectator. And that concept I have developed from Brazilian director Augusto Boal's term spect actor. This Augusto Boal is famous, for example, developing a theater called Forum Theater. And I use the term spect actor because of the participants' active role in the process. And in this photo, you can see my setting. So there is a table covered with brown paper. That's the stage. And the objects you see there on the side table, they are the ones I have been using in that situation. And then the person to whom I'm doing the art thing is sitting next to the table, and I will be there like on the opposite side, like behind the table, and then start to perform using those objects. Or then another version is that if the person comes and he or she would like to see his or her own story to performed on that table, then we start to collaborate. And I start by asking what is that story, and then we make like devising the story together, and then choosing the objects together, which will be then playing the roles in that story. and then I will animate the objects and play the story as a gift to the person who is giving the story. So that's one way to work in that kind of setting. So now comes the experiment, which you are free to try out if you would like to. So there's really simple instructions. I will read out loud them. So you can look into your pockets or into your bag for an object that you have with you, and then take it out from the pocket or from the bag. And could we have some more light, please? Yes, thank you. So everyone sees what they are doing. And then take a moment to consider if the object has agency in that kind of way that it's maybe helping you to do some things in your daily life or in your work. And if it does agency, if you think it has that kind of agency, how does it have it? And how I am connected to it, how I am using it. So think those different situations. And then, of course, how I feel using it, what kind of emotions it's evoking. If I have some kind of like love-hate relationship with the object or whatever. For example, if I take my keys, I'm using these every day, and this is like I think they have agency in that way that they are helping me to get through the different doors, for example, to my home, to my carriage, to summer cottage, and my working place. So these keys are giving me kind of like lots of power when they are helping me open those doors. And also they are like part of my identity in a way that, for example, my house keys, I have had them now 18 years. So these are evoking different kind of memories and emotions. So this is like one of the first experiments I'm quite often doing when I'm meeting people in these one-on-one encounters. So I'm asking them also to bring some ordinary object with them. Then we can have like a discussion with the objects. And I have found out that it's many times easier to discuss through the objects. Instead of that, I'm asking, who are you? Why are you here? So immediately we have some kind of like artistic, aesthetic meeting point to discuss about the objects. But of course, then I have to give kind of like trigger warning at the same time, because once I remember I was working with one group of people, and then I had to have these one-to-one encounters. And I had beforehand asked that please take one object with you which you like. And then one man came to sit next to me in this room where I was meeting these people, and then I was asking that please could you show your object, and the man took a pistol. And I was like, oops, what's happening now? And then of course I was asking, is it loaded? And then the man got really angry for me that of course not, I'm a responsible citizen. What are you thinking for? But to see a pistol there, it's like, okay, now something is happening. But then we created a story around the pistol, and the next time I was performing the story for him and using the pistol a different way. It has roses coming out and peace and love things. Yeah, but sometimes you have to be careful what you ask. Okay. Then some key features from one-to-one or one-on-one or audience of one. So these kind of like key features I have found out from literature and also from doing this work. So quite often these things are like site specific. So of course they are happening in a particular place, for example in hospital or for in nursing home or jail or wherever. So they are like in that way site specific, and many times it's very good to think beforehand also, and also maybe in the situation how to use that site specific space as a part of your artistic thing. And when I was arriving here, I was thinking that it would be really lovely to, for example, to have a site specific show for one person at one time in like some big lake like Saimaa or somewhere. There's just one a spectator and one performer and then the lake. Another issue is that there is opportunity that if it affords the spectator to immerse themselves in the performance framework. That's quite obvious, of course. And then the spectator is many times invited to collaborate. And of course, the degree of the collaboration can change. Also during the performance or beforehand, we can have a like discussion and having the rules in that particular thing we are doing or I'm doing for the spectator, so that the spectator knows also the rules, what kind of participation is acknowledged, or that kind of things are good to be clear. And of course there's spontaneity, improvisation and risk. Always when you are meeting a person, it's a risk, of course. And I mean that in a positive way also, that not in a negative way, but when we are doing art one-to-one, I'm also more vulnerable than, for example, in the like theater space like this. And normally you would be like, no lights there, but lights on me, and or everybody knows the rules that how to behave. But in these one-to-one circumstances, there's like different kind of things can happen. And it also heightens the potential of the performative meeting. So I think it's more intimate, and there's more possibilities, of course, to have a meeting, really like meeting the other person. And the opportunity of closeness that one-to-ones offer in this globalized and insecure environment where we are living. So I think really that these kind of like one-to-one meetings can create a safe place where you can maybe forget the things in the global sense which are happening all the time around us, and really like concentrate on the moment which are happening between the performer and the spectator. And of course, it's good to remember the diversity, richness, and variability of arts practices. So it's like endless world of where to discover things. Okay. So then, some possible aims which one-to-one art can have, and now I mean especially in care settings. So these kind of things can foster dialogue, strengthen community connections, and promote social awareness. And it can create spaces for dialogue and interaction that emphasize physical presence and shared experiences. And I would like to underline this physical presence. I think it's really crucial thing in one-to-one art, that you are physically really close to the spectator or the participant. And also it can build mutual trust through long-term relationships within the community. And this is really like based on my own experience, that I would like to always work long-term relationships with the communities. And of course, it's like the ideal world that I could, for example, work 3 years in a nursing home and have a time really to be the part of that community. And sometimes it happens, many times not. But I have had the opportunity in some cases to work a long time in one and the same community, and it has really been fruitful for all of us to have that kind of long-term relationships. And through these relationships, it can also reshape traditional institutions by introducing an artistic lens to professions. And this artistic lens, for me, it means, among other things, the thing that always when I go to these kind of like care settings or care institutions, I always introduce myself that I'm an artist. I cannot heal anyone. I don't have any background of like any kind of therapy or anything, so I'm not helping anyone to be better in that sense. But I'm good at meeting people in artistic settings, and I'm good at doing artistic things. So that's like my profession. But I really want to emphasize that I always do that. That's like the first thing I want to make really, really clear. Because there have been some cases that, for example, nurses are saying to me that, okay, now when you are there visiting in that old lady's room, you can at the same time change the diaper. And I said, no, I cannot. And actually, it's not allowed me to do that as well. So no way. So please go beforehand and change the diaper, so then we have a peaceful time to be together and we can concentrate on meeting in an aesthetic place. Yes. So then I want to just shortly introduce one of the pioneers at the performance field, Adrian Howells, who made a lot of these one-to-one performances. And the folder there, it's a cover of the book. It's all allowed, the performances of Adrian Howells, which is telling the insights and the stories and the ethics and aesthetics of Adrian Howells, how he felt and how was his artistic practices. I think there's quite nice stories. And Howells has said that, and this is quotation, "My work has been motivated by the sense that this age is a necessity to prioritize opportunities for audiences to have intimate face-to-face one-to-one encounters in real time with real people." And for me, this Adrian Howells' work is quite well resonating to the work I have been doing in care settings, because in many Adrian Howells performances, the touch was key element. Quite often he wanted to touch the spectator and like hug or have really intimate encountering with the persons for whom he made the performances. And I think, for example, that touch is like key element in any kind of care. So what kind of touch Adrian did in his performances, and then what kind of touch these people living in care settings, they are meeting in like everyday encounters. For example, changing the diaper, the touch can be a bit different for the touch of that kind of things which are happening during the performance, like one-to-one encounters. And also this Adrian Howells thinking resonates for me to one book which is quite recently published, 2023, by James Thompson, who is a well-known applied theatre professor in England. And he has written a book called Care Aesthetics for Artful Care and Careful Art. And in this book, I think James Thompson is asking really nice questions, like what does it mean to describe care as beautiful? Is caring an art? And if so, what would artful care and careful art look like? And how might an aesthetics of care transform how we think, not only about interpersonal care, but also about broader social relationships? And these questions around care and art and care aesthetics, I think it's really suitable also for one-to-one art made in care environments. And then when you are doing art in care environments, of course, the ethics and meeting another person is inside of that kind of situations. So the next thinker that I'm quoting here is German philosopher Martin Buber, who has written a really nice book called I and Thou, Ich und Du in German and Minä ja sinä in Finnish. And what he has written goes, I think, really well also for these one-to-one art in care settings. And he emphasizes the importance of genuine human encounters where individuals are fully present and accepted as they are. Such encounters foster an I-you relationship in which the other person is not judged by external attributes, but engaged with authentically. And according to Buber, this kind of meeting is rooted in true dialogue, not merely in the exchange of words. So how I'm reading Martin Buber is that this dialogue is a lot to do with like physical presence, that we are really like meeting physically the other person in these one-to-one encounters. Although we don't maybe doesn't have to exchange the words at all, that it can be some kind of like silent meeting, but meeting anyhow. So then, of course, when you go to work in the care environments, in the care settings, you need to know and have some ethical principles. And it has been not so long that these kind of like ethical principles has existed, and it has been quite hard to find any principles for artists working in care environments, that what kind of things we should think about beforehand and at the situation and afterwards. But there is this NOAH, the National Organization for Arts in Health, and it has published an ethical guide to art in healthcare. First edition was 2018, and then now the second 2023. And this guide mentions 8 things that an artist working in healthcare should consider. And also, I think these principles are really good to know, that when you go and have a negotiation with some kind of care institution, then you have something to show that, okay, me as an artist, I'm like willing to follow these kind of ethical guidelines, and also I know that I have some things to show to the, for example, nursing home, because they have really strict ethical principles how they are working there when meeting their patients. So these things are: 1, respect, which of course is like that you have to respect the people you are meeting in care settings, in healthcare, especially the one to whom you are performing. The second one is autonomy, which means that you have to respect the autonomy of the person you are meeting. There has been cases in my career that I'm like starting to perform this kind of like one-to-one artistic thing, and then the person who is the spectator says to me that, okay, I'm too tired today, can you come and meet me some other day? And then of course I have to say that, okay, totally fine. And then we can discuss the next meeting when it's possible to meet. And then security, I have to be aware security guidelines in those institutions where I work, but also I have to make clear my own security lines. For example, for me, it's that I'm always saying that I'm an artist. And that's the like starting point. Then there's confidentiality, which means that if I hear something in these healthcare settings, then I'm not allowed to tell it like forward. If I, for example, see some documents or hear some medical knowledge or medical information, of course I have to be silent about those things. And then inclusion, that's of course really important that you try to plan your artistic things in that way that you can include everyone who wants to participate. And then competence, that you have to have your own artistic things in a good way. And also that you know that, okay, maybe in these kind of one-to-one meetings, I'm not the star, but the thing which is happening in between is like the star. And integrity, that still I have to keep and take care of the artistic things, that they are really happening. And also justice. So these kind of like 8 things this Noah has put in the ethical guidelines for artists. And of course you can invent your own as an artist. What are your like ethical guidelines when you are working in care settings? And of course, when you go to work in these kind of care environments, you need some arguments for funding, at least, if no one else. So, of course, and it's good that there is arguments. And for example, the cultural rights of citizens, they are guaranteed in the Constitution of Finland. And also there is this United Nations Declaration of Human Rights and the Act of Cultural Activities of Municipalities. So there are many like laws and things and rights already which should tell that everyone everywhere have right to meet art wherever they are. And of course it's important to ensure that these rights can be realized. And I believe that this kind of like to one art is one really good possibility to have these rights come in real. Okay, and also World Health Organization has defined that art based on its intrinsic value. Okay, so then slowly, step by step, going towards the practical work I have been doing. And I have this case study. I have been doing this palliative care unit called Koivikko Hospice, which is one of the 3 palliative care units in Finland, which is like focused only in palliative care. And I have been developing there a model how you could use performing objects when meeting a palliative care patient. And why these performing objects then? Well, the art of animating objects is one possibility to open and remain this dialogical relationship. And one puppet scholar, Paul Piris, has written that particularity of the puppet is to present an ontological ambiguity because it is an object that appears in performance as a subject. And he has written that the subjectness of the puppet, in other words, its quality of or state of being a subject, appears when the puppet seems to escape its own materiality as an object. So these like performing objects has many possibilities. They can learn to fly or jump or whatever and break the laws of gravity and many, many things. Okay, the next slide. I would like to show you the one video clip from this hospice. And let's look at this first, and then I will shortly tell some details about the video. So please.
Jaha. No onpa mukava nähdä sinua pitkästä aikaa.
Ja on puoliso.
Joo.
Jos sen täältä, että mä tällä.
Joo,
Koska
hyvä.
siellä
Laita se
oli
siihen, mihin haluat.
paljon, että avauduin, jos halusin. Ja varmaan sitten tässä niin jotenkin ajattelen itse sitä, että hyvinkin voi olla, niin kuin, että jos ehkä niin tämä oli se, vaikka se kotirooli tai se semmoinen arkirooli, missä oli paljon ujompi.
Joo.
Ja eikä sitä aina antanut tarkoituksellakaan mitään, niin sitten taas niin leirillä. Nimenomaan ehkä myös tytöt osaa olla niin hemmetin julmia myös.
Niin.
Okay, that was that. So it was from the rehearsals. Now this black. Some technical issues appeared. Not at all. Yeah. Normal life. Okay, so I will put the next slide. Okay, it's working good. So the short clip you saw, it was from our national broadcast company Yle, made a document from this palliative care, this Koivikko hospice. And one of the main characters there was the woman you saw. Her name was Marika, and she had a cancer. And when I met Marika first time, she had like 3 weeks time, said by doctors. But actually she lived then like 2 months. So I met with Marika 3 times, and this short clip you saw, it was from our first meeting. So I was just introducing how to use the objects, and then I was starting to devise a story together with Marika. And Marika was choosing some objects which would present the roles in that story. And then at the second time I was performing the story to Marika. And then at the third time we have just like coffee and discussion how it went, and I got feedback and those kind of things. But I think that the document is still available at Yle Areena for those who are Finnish and can see Yle Areena. And if you Google or put there the Marikan kuolema, Marika's death, then you can find the document. So when I was working in this hospice, I started to think that one-to-one is actually not maybe the right kind of title for the work I'm doing. So I changed this one word, and I started to use one-with-one performance. And that's because the spectator was like actually one of the makers of that performance. So that's why one-with-one performance. And I slowly made this model, and there is these 11 different steps. And so first we just introducing ourselves in the room, for example, with the Marika that happened. And then we have an informal conversation. Of course, I have to tell why I'm there and what I would like to do, and ask if he or she is volunteering to do that kind of things with me. And then we search and find a participant story. And then I introduce the basic elements of performing objects, choose characters, how to animate the characters, develop a performance from the story, and then performing the story. And then after that, discussing and sharing, and then a feedback and saying goodbye. And I think all these elements are really important. But this meeting would never happen if there wouldn't be the idea to perform something. So this one-with-one is the key element for me to be there and actually the work with the people. So then I continued to do these one-with-one performances, and this photo is from during my PhD project. I was then working in one nursing home, and here you can see one photo from one performance where we made a short story about the princess who wanted to marry Matti Nykänen. For Finnish people know that Matti Nykänen is a very famous ski jumper, and the lady on the left in this photo, she invented the whole story. She wanted that there is a princess, Matti Nykänen, and some horses and that kind of things. And then we made a performance out of that story, kind of like modern fairy tale. And it ended really not so well because Matti was drinking too much. Yeah. So then finally, some closing thoughts before I open up a discussion. So just like some thoughts about funding. Of course, it's many times project-based, as many of you know. Can we do something about that? I don't know. I don't have any answers. But one issue I have found really important to me and quite like helping me is that cooperation with organizations. That actually organization is the one who is applying funding. And so I don't have to do all the work. And sometimes it's helpful for some funding bodies that there is, like, for example, nursing home. And there's different options also in that case. And also one thing I have noticed quite good for me is this artist in residence working model, that I have a longer term in one place where then I can do one-with-one or one-to-one work. And in my case, research has been helping me a lot, that I have been doing before my own PhD. I was like co-working with different researchers, that the researchers came to see my work, and then they were writing articles, and I could be part of their research project as an artist. Of course, it was like funding wise, but also giving me words and knowledge that, okay, I can say, for example, to the nursing home that it's important because of this and that research is saying that. And again, language is really important, how you talk about your work and what kind of things you want to emphasize. And also writing out how artistic work is done. What do you need as an artist? For example, how many sessions in a day you are capable to do? Is it 1 or 3 or 10? I don't know. It depends on you, of course. And also that how many hours beforehand you have to come to the place. This is like, of course, self-evident things, but it's always helpful to say them out loud. That part of my job is to be there beforehand, like 3 hours, set up the things, concentrate, and then performance can be 10 minutes, and afterwards we can have like 2 hours discussion, feedback, whatever. So it's like working day. Yeah, but how to then put that in that kind of language that the funding bodies are saying, oh, it's really nice work. we give you money you need. But everybody who are working in these fields know that it's easy to write over there, but then in practice it's totally different. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, Riku. There are a few questions to you.
No,
to
that's
answer.
good.
The first one was that as an artist who is thinking about studying maybe more, maybe academic studies, that person was interested, what is your path of studies? What have you studied?
Okay. Well, first as a young boy, I wanted to be an actor, and then I went to study acting and puppetry to Prague, and I studied there, and then I came back to Finland and studied more theater, and I do this teatteri-ilmaisun ohjaaja, drama instructor studies at Helsinki Metropolia Applied University, and after that I made my master, and then now I'm doing my PhD. Yeah, so I started to study when I was 20 something, and I'm 50 plus. I'm still studying, so never ending story. Yeah.
Thank you. The other question was, are you trusted by the staff where you go, when you go to care home or such? What have you encountered?
Yes, normally I'm trusted quite well, and actually it's really this kind of thing just hit me when I started to do my PhD, because when you are doing academic research, you have to have permissions from different bodies, and it's really like I'm doing my PhD among people who have dementia, so it's even harder to get the permission to do art among those persons. And when I was applying these things, I was many times like really amazed how strict rules are when doing research. And I was saying that, okay, I have been doing art like 20 plus years, and nobody has ever asked me any like permissions to anything. Nobody has ever asked me if I have done some criminal acts or anything. They have said, okay, please come, nice, yeah, who? So they really trusted me quite a lot. Yes. I don't know why.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Riku Laakkonen. It was amazing to see your performance
You're welcome.
and hear about your work. Thanks.
Thank you.
Now we will have a 15-minute break, and please be back by 11 sharp. We will continue there. And one thing before you go, of that tyyppi, that person over there, if you write some comments to them, they go straight to youngsters, to real youngsters who can maybe answer something. So keep that in mind. Thank you. Now we will see a remote greeting from Mia Malvinimi, who was the dancer and choreographer, and did the choreographing in this short film. And then Merve Junkonen is here live, the director and editor of the video of the short film, and she's gonna tell something about the filmmaking and also lead the discussion. So feel free to send your comments and questions to our Mentimeter link. Okay, Mia, you are here. Is everything technically okay? Yes? Good, thank you.
Hei. Heippa Mia.
Hei,
Mukavaa, että pääsit tänne meidän kanssa.
kiva olla.
Mistä sä tuut tähän hetkeen?
No, mä oon tällä hetkellä Vaasassa omalla työhuoneella, eli terveisiä syksyisen aurinkoisesta Vaasasta sinne Ouluun.
Joo, ja meillä oli tosiaan ajatus, että Mia voisi tässä meidän niin kaksikielisyyden hengessä kertoa meille nyt suomeksi tästä hankkeesta, josta on sitten noussut myös tämä elokuva. Ja tämä tulee englanniksi myöhemmin saataville meidän tallenteessa siis tekstitetty. Mutta joo, tosi hyvä kuulla. Very good point. The main point was that the text will be available in English later, like we will have a record of the symposium. So, but as this is bilingual, so this will be now for some time in Finnish. The text will be available in English later. Joo, niin kerro, olisi ihana kuulla tästä hankkeesta. Joo.
Kiitos. Joo. Sen verran, että as you heard, that I'm going to tell you in Finnish this, but if you want to read in the same time a short like introduction is in our website, malviniemi.fi. So there is also in English short about what is this artist at home project. Eli tosiaan meillä on Malviniemi Komppanyssä tanssiryhmä, joka toimii täällä Vaasassa, niin ollaan tehty vuodesta 2017 taiteilija kotona toimintaa. Ja lyhyesti vaan sen historiikki, että mistä se on niin kuin lähtenyt. Eli mä työskentelin lyhyen aikaa tuolla Vaasan kulttuuripalveluissa ja siellä pilotoitiin tämä toiminta. Eli silloin mulla oli 3 asiakasta, kenen luona sitten kävin tekemässä tanssituokioita. Ja siellä yhteistyössä oli myös Vaasan kotihoito. Eli Vaasan kotihoito on ollut koko ajan semmoisena yhteistyökumppanina myös tässä näin. Mutta sitten myöhemmin itse asiassa samana vuonna 2017 tämä toiminta siirtyi niin kuin meidän komppanin toimintaan. Eli se pilotoitiin siellä kulttuuripalveluissa, mutta sitten se tuli osaksi meidän toimintaa. Ja ideana tosiaan on se, että käydään ikäihmisten luona pitämässä tanssituokioita. Ja mä olen toinen näistä tuokion vetäjistä ollut, ja sitten meidän tanssipedagogi Anna Rahikainen on toinen sitten, joka on tehnyt näitä tanssituokioita. Jos sitten lyhyesti kerron vähän, että mitä nämä tuokiot sitten on ja mitä ne niin kuin sisältää. Eli mä tapaan yleensä tehdä sillä tavalla, että mä lähden niin kuin tutustumiskäynnille ensin asiakkaan luona. Eli käyn esittelemässä, että mitä tämä taiteilija kotona toiminta on, mitä se pitää sisällään. Sitten me tehdään semmoinen pieni, niin kuin, sanotaanko tämmöinen lyhyt mini-tanssituokio, että asiakas saa jonkinlaisen käsityksen siitä, että mitä se sitten voisi olla, että kun siellä hänen luonaan ruvetaan käymään. Ja sen jälkeen sitten, kun on ollut tämä tämmöinen esittelykäynti, niin asiakas voi itse päättää, että haluaako hän ottaa vastaan tällaista taiteilijan kotona toimintaa. Tämä on niin kuin täysin vapaaehtoista, ja me ollaan lähdetty niin kuin siitä liikenteeseen, että jokainen, jolle tätä esitellään, hän voi itse valita, että haluaako hän tanssituokiota vai ei. Et me ei olla lähdetty niin kuin siltä, että pohjalta, että jokainen välttämättä haluaisi tai tämmöistä tanssitoimintaa. Et se on ollut niin kuin tärkeää, se oma tahto ja halu osallistua siihen. Koska me ollaan tehty siis hankkeina näitä, niin me ollaan tehty näitä aina niin kuin jaksoittain, jolloin sitten tätä toimintaa on tarjottu asiakkaille niin, että meillä on ollut 5-10 kertaa, me ollaan käyty viikoittain siellä, me ollaan aina sovittu niin kuin tietty päivä, tietty kellonaika, milloin mennään käymään. Ja tässä tämä Vaasan kotihoito on sillä tavalla yhteistyökumppani ollut, että se on ollut myös aika aktiivinen, että me ollaan myös yhdessä valittu asiakkaita, kenelle me ollaan tarjottu tätä toimintaa. Ja joissain kohteissa tietenkin on tarvittu sitä myös, että hoitaja on ollut paikalla sillä tavalla, että me ollaan päästy sisään asiakkaan kotiin. Että aina välttämättä asiakas ei itse pääse avaamaan sitä ovea, niin silloin me ollaan vähän niin kuin tehty semmoinen niin kuin vaihtari siinä, että kun hoitaja lähtee, niin sitten on mennyt sinne sitten pitämään tuokiota. Mulle on ollut tärkeää siis näistä tanssituokioissa se, että se tanssi on niin kuin omaehtoista ja se myös niin kuin syntyy siinä niin kuin hetkessä. Ei niinkään sillä tavalla, että mä lähden sinne opettamaan tanssiliikkeitä, vaan että se tanssi niin kuin syntyy tavallaan semmoisen mun niin kuin ohjauksen kautta, mutta myöskin herätellen sitä vastapuolta siihen, että miten hän voisi niin kuin tuottaa myös itse sitä liikettä. Eli suoraan niin kuin, tai sanottuna, että se on niin kuin improvisaatiota, mitä kohti ollaan aina menty, mutta mä en ole ehkä sitä tarjoillut sillä tavalla, että okei, nyt me aloitetaan tanssi-improvisaatiota, koska se olisi voinut olla ehkä semmoinen vieraannuttava hetki, että apua, että nyt täytyykin ruveta improvisoimaan. Mutta se on mulla itsellä ollut aina niin kuin taustalla siellä, kun mä oon pitänyt tuokioita, että mä en niinkään niin kuin anna sitä, että nyt meidän pitää tanssia tietyllä tavalla, vaan että se tulee siitä niin kuin meidän vuorovaikutuksesta. Sitten niissä tuokioissa on niin kuin tärkeää ja siinä kohtaamisessa ollut niin kuin se, että kosketus on niin kuin läsnä. Eli mä pidän aina niin kuin käsistä kiinni, että mä saan kontaktin, koska monet asiakkaat myös on niin kuin, saattaa olla niin kuin alkavaa muistisairautta ja sitten jotkut on jopa sillä tavalla muistisairaita, että he eivät välttämättä edes niin kuin sängystä tai sitten tuolista lähde itse liikkumaan. Että se niin kuin kirjo on ollut hyvin niin kuin laaja näistä että minkä kuntoisia niin kuin asiakkaat ovat, kun mä käyn heidän luonaan. Ja muistan, että yksi asiakas meidän pilotissa oli sillä tavalla, että hän oli niin kuin rullatuolissa ja sitten me tanssittiin siellä kotona niin, että me mentiin siellä huoneesta vähän toiseen sen rullatuolin kanssa ja musiikki soi. Että niin kuin hyvin monipuolista ja yhden asiakkaan kanssa on tosiaan tehty myös sellaista, että mulla on ollut yksi muusikko mukana, jolla oli äänimaljat ja me laitettiin ne äänimaljat hänen sänkynsä niin kuin sinne niin kuin tavallaan pään ympärille. Ja sitten mulla oli, niin kuin mä pidin asiakasta käsistä kiinni ja sitten muusikko soitti äänimaljoja ja sitten me tanssittiin yhdessä. Tavallisesti, ehkä tavallisin muoto on se, että istutaan vastakkain ja sitten tanssitaan ja tehdään niin kuin asioita, mutta hyvin monimuotoista. Sitten tietenkin tarinat ja muistot on ehkä semmoinen, mikä niin kuin vanhoilla ihmisillä tulee aika niin kuin luontevasti, ja se oli ehkä mulle semmoinen niin kuin, inspiroiva asia, joka niin kuin tuli näissä tuokioissa niin kuin, sanotaanko ehkäpä niin kuin yllätyksenä, että mä en ollut ajatellut, että nämä tarinat niin kuin tulee täältä ja heidän muistonsa, ja niistä tuli semmoinen aika iso ja tärkeä asia niin kuin näissä tuokioissa, mitä on niin kuin pitänyt. Et sitä kautta on myös lähdetty niin kuin, synnyttämään liikettä ja tanssia. Ja tietenkin niin kuin ne tuokiot, kun on kyse niin kuin vanhoista ihmisistä, niin se jaksaminen on aina hyvin vaihtelevaa. Niin tuokioiden kestot on ollut niin kuin semmoista 20 minuuttia tai joskus se on saattanut kestää 45 minuuttia, mutta maksimissaan tunti on yleensä ollut semmoinen mun vierailuaika. Sitten mä oon jotenkin pyrkinyt niissä tuokioissa myöskin niitä, että on niin kuin tarinoita, mutta myöskin se koti, kun se on semmoinen ympäristö, missä ikäihmiset kuitenkin viettää aikaansa, että he ei välttämättä sieltä pääse kauheasti lähtemään, että mitä se koti niin kuin tuo, onko siellä jotenkin jotain esineitä tai asioita, jotka inspiroisi ehkä niin kuin siihen tanssiin, niin yhden asiakkaan kanssa sitten myös käytiin hänen niin kuin taidettaan, että mitä siellä oli tauluja niin kuin hänen seinällään, niin me kerran rakennettiin tanssi siitä hänen yhdestä taulusta, johon liittyi niin kuin tärkeä muisto lapsuuteen. Eli ehkä tässä vähän tämmöistä halusin esitellä sitä, että mistä kaikesta niin kuin se tanssi siellä niin kuin syntyy sen asiakkaan kanssa. Joo. Okei. Aika ilmeisesti alkaa loppumaan. Tuolla näyttää Timo sillä lailla liikahtelee. Että mutta, joo,
Timo kahisee siis, täällä.
Joo, kyllä. Mutta tässä nyt paljon voisi puhua kaikenlaista, mutta ehkä tälleen tiivistetysti vähän niin kuin semmoista esittelyä, että mitä on taiteilija kotona toiminta ollut tässä näin.
Tämä on niin kuin
ja
ihan...
Mervi kertoo enemmän elokuvasta ja miten se lähti sitten niin kuin syntymään ja näin.
Mä haluan vaan sanoa, että tämä on superkiinnostava niin kuin esimerkki sekä niin kuin rakenteellisesti, että miten voidaan tehdä kahdenkeskistä taidetta ihmisten kanssa hoivaympäristössä, että sitten jotenkin myös niin kuin, ihan niin kuin sisällöllisesti ja pitkään olette tehnyt ja tavallaan tosi ihana esimerkki. Tosi kiitos paljon, että kerroit.
Hello. Yes, I'm a director and editor, Mervi Junkkonen, and me and Mia, we have made a film together before, so it was quite easy to start making a second film. And early on, we decided already that this is not going to be a documentation, it's going to be an independent dance film or a documentary film, how you can look at it. It's kind of like a hybrid film. So that it actually can travel and live its own life, because documentation, of course, is much more limited how you can show it. And it has traveled very well. So 25 countries, different film festivals. And also it was shown in Helena Rautavaara Museum in half a year in Helsinki and Espoo, which was an interesting place to show the film. And also at these kind of events. So in a sense, as a film, it has done well, won prizes, and we are very happy and kind of surprised at the same time. But yes, so it kind of represents the session in Artist at Home project, what Mia has. It shows like how it starts with the improvisation and then goes to this kind of choreography of a story. And we chose one person. Mia did all the pre-work and kind of send me stories of people. And then we decided that, okay, we choose this person. We asked which people would like to be in the film. And then we chose one story, one person. And now you had a chance to meet Rauno. The process itself was then, after that, Mia sent me the choreography and I made a storyboard. And also this is filmed with I filmed also all the practice, when they were practicing with Nanna, because Mia got sick or had a flu, and this was just after COVID, so we didn't want to take the chance, so we changed it to Nanna. And it was actually good in a sense, because Rauno had to teach Nanna to all the movements and tell the story again, so it actually became much more natural in a sense to use this kind of material mixed with then the choreography material that was very particularly filmed and storyboarded. But Rauno was a professional. We, of course, couldn't do long days. It was filmed during 4 days, and I could also honestly see, even though I was there just a week, so I could see the thinking, like how he started thinking choreographically, that he had a dream about some birds, and then he was showing us next morning how, like, yeah, and I was thinking, we could make this kind of movement for the bird, and so it was wonderful to see how an old dog can learn new tricks. You could say that it's never too late to learn something new. So, if you have any questions.
either from Mia or from Mervi, I can tell the question to Mia if there's a, yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to repeat it when you. Yeah, we can repeat it to the.
Eli Mia varmaan kuuluu, mutta kysymys oli, että millainen niin kuin merkitys näillä kahdenkeskisillä tanssikohtaamisilla on näille asiakkaille, ihmisille. Hyvin laaja kysymys, mutta tärkeä.
Yeah, it is very like wide question, but of course we have like asked people afterwards that how they have like felt it about this. So they have been all said that this has been very important for them, and there have been like people who have been like waiting for that moment because of course they don't have a lot of things to do at home alone, but also that it's not only that we just talk and I come to do something there, but we are like together, we do together things. So that's why they have felt it that it's important for them. I don't know if this answers.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if Mia didn't mention this, but these are people who are bound in their homes, so often can't leave. And Rauno was almost blind, so that's why he didn't go out much. So he was very happy about our company.
Thank you, Mervi, and thank you, Mia.
Kiitos.
Kiitos, thank you.
Yes, thanks, Mia and Mervi, from my too. I was kindly asked before to address my words to the cameras, to you online too. So sorry, better late than never. Glad that you've been here, and thanks for the notice. Next one, we're gonna have the panel discussion of what is possible in one-to-one art. And this discussion will be moderated by Timo Harju from Ilme. And in the panel, we have Mikko Oranen, who is the development director at Hoivatie, and Jaana Dutoit, job coach, together with a peer expert from Clubhouse Pönkkä and Nuorten Ystävät Clubhouse Pönkkä, and Eva-Nina Lampic and Harri Piispanen, who are Kehä artists this year. You can start moving your bodies down here. Thank you. And while you do that, I'm going to let you know that in these tablecloths, you can write your thoughts and comments and notes, the panelists as well as you over here. We are going to have a lunch break after this panel discussion. And when going to the lunch, you feel free to check these tables. If there are any notes written down, you can write your own comments and notes to the tablecloths in here.
Eli sitten vaan kaikki lukemaan myös näitä pöytäliinoja meidän kanssa ja kirjoittelemaan tänne jos haluaa, tai piirtelemään, kun on aikaa.
After the discussion, we will then lead you to grab some lunch. So feel free to start. You need an extra mic. Is this maybe for one of you?
Some sound, but it doesn't matter. Hi to you all. It's nice and exciting panel we are going to have, and you were already introduced, so I won't introduce you again. But I was kind of impressed by this one word, this kind of being together. That's the kind of thing, being together. That was said by Mia just then. So I was wondering, it would be a good way to start if you could tell a moment from one-to-one piece with someone, as an audience or as an artist or person who has kind of seen it happen, a moment where people have like been together and it has been meaningful for you, and how it has been meaningful. So if you can just like share one moment from like one-to-one art of like meaning, being with the artist and what it meant. Yeah. Is this who wants to start? We don't have to be kind of and go like so who wants to start? Just say like one simple practical moment so we kind of get started. I kind of had the idea that, okay, yes, let's go to it anyway. Yeah. Yeah, just pick up mic and say your name. It works nicely.
Hi, my name is Ivanina Lampic. I'm an artist part of this festival this year.
Hi, I'm Mikko Oranen. I'm coming from Hoivatie and I'm a development director there.
Hi, I'm Harri Piispanen, an artist also at the festival this year.
Hi everyone, my name is Jaana Toit and I'm a job coach at the Nuorten Ystävät Clubhouse Pönkkä.
Hello everybody, I'm Virpi, I'm a member at Clubhouse Pönkkä.
And I'm Timo. I do one-to-one art. I'm artistic director of the Kehä-festival. So, yes, back to my question. So, a practical moment when you were together in art with someone. Also someone together in art. And, yeah.
Maybe I'll start since I'm already holding the mic. A moment from yesterday at Pönkkä. One came to experience the piece where you actually have to put a miniature barn onto your head, first overcoming that sensation of oddness and taking the leap of courage to actually wear the construction, and then after viewing and experiencing the piece, I had the most heartwarming feedback, like the man told me that I'm also an artist myself, and this has deeply inspired me to take something for my own art. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's a moment of connection that I felt. It was really a heartwarming feedback.
I can take the mic from you. Also speaking about experience from yesterday also. For me, a meaningful moment yesterday was seeing a change in person. How was a person that I met in the beginning of the performance when they entered the room, and how then during the course of the performance, how how the person changed then until the end. I could see the through there were different moments of engagement, and how from maybe being in the beginning more reserved, how like changes how people opened on different levels, and I was touched by seeing those moments from very close, and I felt moved and touched by sharing this experience.
So my role in this cooperation with Ilme and with Kehä-Festival is it's kind of let's say not the most fun role, because I'm the bureaucrat organizing things and making things possible in our units. So I hear the stories, even though I haven't had experience firsthand myself, but I will tell one of the stories. It comes from the institution, like where you were visiting yesterday. And that was the year where the topic was love. I can't recall what year it was, but the topic was love. And there was an artist, also English-speaking artist, and there were young people, young boys, about 14, 15. And the workers were like that. No, those boys, they don't speak English, and the topic love. Do you imagine that these youngsters would talk about love with some foreign artists? And despite of this kind of prejudice, the boys wanted to go, and that was an exception that they didn't want to go alone. So it was actually not 1-to-1 art; it was 1-to-3 art. But however, they spent an hour talking about love with this foreign artist, and everybody was kind of amazed what happened. And I think that that's one of the things I relate to this type of art, and it's a forum of surprises. The surprise is probably one of the words I would attach to this. It's that anything can happen.
Yeah, I think also like what we try to do as a festival is really have a surprising like program, like diverse things, really kind of take works that have a lot of competence and have been prepared really well, and so somehow they that way they kind of set apart from each other. So there's like can be really like a barn in someone's head, or like really detailed dramaturgy and like how to perform together, like involve the person. So there's like really different things that kind of feeds the feeling of surprise of, okay, if this can happen, like what else could happen? It's kind of, so it's important. Yeah. Ben.
I think I'm going to pick one of the art pieces from yesterday. It was an artwork focused on storytelling, and the artist asked truly insightful questions, and I think we had a good conversation. Yeah.
I'm sorry. There was a question. I'm gonna address it now because it was about yesterday. You are talking about yesterday. What happened yesterday? Could you please open up?
Extremely good point. Extremely good point. So yesterday happened, as in all the Kehä-festivals, that we take the works to different institutions in the care sector, and they are different, like every year partly. And this year we were at demanding foster care at Haukipudas. That's a hoivatie place, and we have been actually working with them for like many years and taking works there. That was demanding foster care for kids, youth, and Nina was there. And then we had a clubhouse. Pönkkä. These lovely people are from there. And Harry was there. And then we had Veljeskoti, which is also operated by Hoivat. It's for old people that have, they might be war veterans or have some injury related to the Second World War. But the age there, the mediocre age was like 96. So some art pieces were there. So different places. Yes. And then, Jana, I was just thinking that you are like about maybe to say something. Maybe you can guys kind of say what kind of pönkkä was. I was kind of unintroduced pönkkä, but then I would have been talking on top of you. So maybe you can tell what kind of place pönkkä is, like this month where we were yesterday. And yeah.
Okay. Shortly, pönkkä is a clubhouse that we have this model to for people with who have challenges with mental health. Then it's a recovery model where we work together as a community, and then we also give personal support for our members to the work life and studies and everyday life. But mostly it's a community where we work together equally, finding each other's strengths and possibilities. Shortly.
Yeah. So, like your moment together in art, if you had to pick one like memory, what would it be?
I can also pick from yesterday. It was an unlucky moment for the member not to want to sit the barn in their heads, but I was lucky enough to be a member for her in that situation. So we decided I go sit with the barn and she can look at it from outside, and all the experiences inside, all the different emotions starting from the childhood, making tents, being inside the barn, the feelings and emotions running, and then seeing our culture item barn going around in funny places and identifying myself in the barn and with the barn. Very, very mixed emotions in there, and somehow feeling when the barn was out in the world in the very different place where it usually is. I felt somehow friendliness and wanted to help it back to its own nature, but many kind of emotions and feelings running through that moment. It's very nice, thank you. And very playful and joyful at the same time.
Yeah. I also want to ask you, as you are also, there's a lot of people are doing art in pönkkä also there, and you are supporting people. So can you do you have an example of how art is present kind of in your own work, or maybe like one-to-one kind of art?
Yes, that's true. We have very, very talented members in many ways and also in arts. And I'm a lucky one to see all of this talent. And often it is brought to me that the members want to present their art, and then we look at it together, maybe have conversations about it, what is there and what they want to show with it, and different forms. I've listened to music, I've heard novels, and I've seen visual arts and comic strips. And often there is something very maybe vulnerable but important things of members' lives, and then we have talk about it, what's it about, and I can see that how it can kind of build bridges between us, help like a deeper understanding of the members' life and situations. and also maybe bring new ideas and thoughts of how to relate to the matters that they are trying to express in their works. And also the playfulness, I think. You can try different approaches throughout the art to the themes that you are going through in your life. And somewhat, I think, also in our society, the words have such a heavy meaning, but it's not very easy to put on words all your thoughts or emotions. So throughout different types of art, I think it comes more alive and easier to understand what the actual emotion or feeling is there inside. And I think it also creates more awareness for themselves of what it is when we talk about it and they see it at the same time. Yeah.
Does anyone else want to add? This was really like, ooh, okay, it was like so many important things. But is there something, in the art moments that art can give that other moments kind of can't give? Do you have any kind of any ideas? Kind of like Jan was kind of saying a lot about it, but like, what do you think about it? Is there something that you feel that kind of art gives or opens up that doesn't maybe happen in a care setting like normally? There isn't space for something in like care setting, but this art maybe gives space to it. Go for it.
I mean, of course, like having sort of like a limited knowledge of how the daily routine goes or what kind of experiences people living they're having. I can only assume that, and this is then my assumption of that the artwork that comes in their space is maybe different to what they're used to. It's like new, unusual, maybe weird. I guess, there are like new encounters, new topics, new aesthetics, which I guess then have an impact, or it maybe gives something that they then will reflect in one or the other way, or that it will stay with them in the moment, and I guess also maybe later. I mean that maybe it's like so I guess it's some kind of not disruption in some kind of it shakes, I guess, maybe, hopefully, or brings something new at, I don't know. Was this in this direction?
Yeah.
I think I had some
Does
other thoughts,
someone
but
else
I
want to,
kind of
does someone else want to
add
something to that?
I can still add later.
Yeah, I was thinking like art in general, or in like on this one-on-one setting, but in
one-on-one is good.
One-on-one is good. Yeah. Well, in there, I think the intimacy of that is something very special. It's like taking a moment, or in a way stealing time and being connected only like with the other person and the artwork, and not being worried about cell phones and whatnot, like being connected somewhere else. I think that's one of the special things like that connects. I've done like very different types of works, but I seem to always come to that. It's two people, sometimes three people in a space and interacting with each other and with the work.
Yeah, because specifically if it's one-to-one, then of course depends on the work and how the work is structured, but like there is a possibility that the work is also somehow more customized for the person.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
That if the frame of work allows, or if it's structured in a way, you can maybe then react more in the moment,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like you can see what's your structure and like where you can improvise, where you can maybe things go differently to what you anticipated or thought or your idea was, and so it's maybe helpful to have. I mean, there is opportunity that you can then adjust a little bit or change in the moment, and then maybe then this creates like a different level of connection, or like it's more personal and doesn't feel maybe closeness. I guess like intimacy. What you
I think that's what you're talking about, is what makes one-to-one also so like accessible, that you can really customize it in the moment. So it's not only actually being able to go to the people who are maybe in a bed I can't come, not like crossing the physical distance, but also like being able to customize and make it possible for the person to really participate. So that's kind of really important point, I think.
I'm not sure what was the question, but anyhow, what's possible in this one-to-one encounters? I think for us, being an organization working with young people who have lots of difficulties in their life and challenges, and who live in an institution, the relationships and encounters of these young people are usually very loaded. So there are lots of, they meet a lot of professionals who, all of these professionals have a different role and they have different goals for that meeting. And I think what is important in these meetings is that they are free from those kind of expectations, and it's kind of a place where you can be seen as yourself, just what you are at that moment. And I think it's really important that these youngsters have that kind of relationships and encounters, even though, of course, this is once in a year, but we are working with Ilme on a steady basis and try to do that work also in other times of the year. So that's one thing, and the other thing is that art is not an everyday topic of discussion in this institution. I can assure you, there are lots of other things they speak, and maybe there are a lot of these young people don't have really much experience of being exposed to art, and we think that's also an important thing. We want to introduce them, that they are exposed to the strange things, and one of the stories was Harry with the salad head, and that I heard that this encounter with this crazy man with the salad on his head enhanced a lot of discussion in the unit then afterwards. That what is this? Is this, can you call this is art? What is it? And this is crazy, and it was really activated a lot of discussion and talking with young people. What is art? What is the meaning? Why he did this? And what do you think about it? What are the feelings it provoked? So this kind of exposure is brought into these institutions by these visits and by Kehä.
Yeah, this is like a question. I wrote this thing down. What is the role of an artist in care setting? Should we know it or not? And it's kind of a like obviously like I wish that there would be a world where you would have all care place. You would have like artists also like as workers, but somehow would we also like lose something? Then artists would maybe have a clearer role. So do you see that there's like there's also like an important need for this kind of a visits where you're like not part of the institution somehow. Do you feel, Mikko? Yeah, I was kind of asking you. I was asking you. I was just wondering. Yeah, do you feel that it's kind of important the artists that actually like that people come there and just like visit, so that they kind of they come from the outside? Like, is it a kind of good point?
Could you say it in Finnish? Just.
But I'm thinking at the same time, so I'm being confusing. Niin, siis mietin sitä, että onko niinku, aika ihan, että on pitkäkestoisia yhteistyötä ja näin. Ja näetkö siinä niinku mahdollisuutta, että tulee niinku vieraita? Ja onko siinä joku semmoisen uuden yllätyksen mahdollisuus myös siinä? Tulee niinku.
Okay, yeah. So of course it's a different experience than when it's kind of once in a lifetime situation. So, but I think those are also important because it brings something new into that place for that. But then I think it's and what we try to support it, that there would be a discussion about it later on with the workers and with young people. So what happened, and kind of expand it from this 15 or 20-minute encounter to the kind of using it as an opportunity to discuss, for example, art or the experience, what it was, or the emotions, what it brought out. So I think it has a role, even though it's only once a year.
Oh, that's super interesting. Yeah, any?
Yeah, Mikko had very good points there previously as well, which I can relate to. That how it's the concept of art is rewritten through these encounters, like how the art is seen. But to come back to this, what you last were speaking about, how I can also say that how, although we do many kinds of work with members, but there's also always a certain expectation when we have the encounter of what the topic is about. But here, when they go meet the artist and it's through art, it's a totally new and blank space that they don't have a feeling, members don't have a feeling that they have to bring something and something is expected a certain thing to bring to it. So it's a surprising and new experience in the social relations for them. And I think that can open up many new things.
It would seem that, like with Kehä-festival, for example, the variety is amazing. I mean, each work is different from each other, and that, of course, it's a short moments that each person gets to take with the artwork and different artists. But maybe this enables the variety, that if it would like be a person working within the institution, it would of course be that there would be the continuation. But then in this sense, it maybe it can offer a bit more, like different angles that what can be art, and like what you said like continuing the discussions with within the communities of the centers. That sounds really a valuable thing to do. Like for example, like as an artist and working with young people, I don't necessarily get any feedback from that. I mean, it might be so that they come a bit, let's say, reserved onto the encounter, and it's really hard for me, not knowing them personally, to know how they were when they left, because it can be also that there's no visible change, but then I afterwards hear that it was like an eye-opening experience, which was really difficult to read from that moment. So yeah.
I would maybe have a reply or a question, because it's you said that only once a year this happens. So do you think do you think that's okay, or do you think it could be also more? Or to me, it sounds very once a year. It sounds like very little. But what's the context of that?
So-
I know it's probably.
So I was referring to Kehä, which is happening once a year, but we do cooperate with Ilme all year round. So we, not all of our institutions, but many of our institutions here at the Oulu area. So we have been working with them for 5 years, quite on a steady basis. So it's not only that Kehä is once a year, but art is more.
Yeah, I kind of hope that they kind of support each other, that you have this continuing work that builds up relationship, and then you have on that you could bring on something that kind of confuses and mixes the things a bit. So yeah.
I have 2 questions in here, and I was thinking if I could ask them now. We have about 10 minutes left for you to discuss and for us to have questions. All in all, 10 minutes about. But the first question is, how do you feel if a customer and staff member have experienced the same art piece? Does it arise discussion? And is it useful for the future work when there's something shared other than everyday stuff, everyday routines? Oh, this is about Kehä Festival encounters 1-to-1.
But yeah, art in general, kind of.
In general, yeah.
Of course, like conversation, yeah.
A short answer, definitely yes. It's good if both sides in a way have the same experience, so it is easier to share.
Yeah, I can refer to to yesterday, where in some performances, because of the language barrier, like some teenagers spoke English, some needed a translation, and so for some it was actually then we were 3, and we made it sort of like a live translation. So sometimes the conversation went like through like me to the care worker, to the teenager, or it was like mixed directions. And I thought at first I was how will this work? But then I think it was very sort of like it was like a nice, because they had to also talk then with each other, and I think it created like a very interesting I don't know, connection or dynamic, or I think they also experienced the work together. And I think it worked very well, I think. So at first it was maybe, but then it was actually a super positive opening thing.
Thank you. I will shortly translate this into Finnish because the question originally was in Finnish. So kysymys oli siis se, että onko sillä merkitystä, jos sekä työntekijä että asiakas kokee saman teoksen ja tuoko se jotakin ehkä tulevaisuuteen, niin taiteilijat vastaa ehkä lyhyesti niin, että kyllä sillä on merkitystä ja se voi tuoda sellaista, ikään kuin siinä on se yhteys moneen suuntaan. Siinä on taiteilija ja asiakas ja työntekijä, jotka voi jotenkin siitä semmoista keskustelua, yhteyttä ehkä sen taiteen kautta luoda. Olisikohan tämä hyvä suomennos? Is this good in Finnish? Is this what you said? Yeah. The translation was good. Good. Anything you want to add, or do we go to the other question? Do you want to add something to
Let's
this?
go to the other question.
Good. The other question is right here. Is there or has there ever existed a program of sorts for artists so they could work as a resident artist in a care facility or other care environments. Is there a need for something like this? So have there existed like a resident kind of based thing, or would that be needed?
I mean, there are like artists in residency in care settings. That's like one concept that is happening in Finland. It should be maybe happening more, but somehow, and often it kind of has the focus of one-to-one when you're in a care setting, like really naturally. But if the question is this like specifically come and do one-to-one encounters kind of specifically, maybe not, because usually it's kind of maybe easier to get funding. I also understand that sometimes you have one-to-one and sometimes you have groups and so on. But there can be like a residency, you work every day, but you can also like, for me it was really important, like in Salo, I was like 1 year there working as a young artist, like 15 years ago in old people's homes, and I had like 50% working time. So I was like one day a week in this one place and 1 day a week in this place, and being with the old people, like always like 1 day at a time there, gave a lot to me, and kind of started writing also like a lot of one-to-one poetry there with the old people. So if you have time to do like a whole day and just like every week, then things can start happening.
That's my dream of having artists in residence for a longer periods. For example, in our old people's homes, and so at the moment it hasn't been financially possible. But actually, I think that like Timo, you are more or less an artist in residence in our foster care units, because you have been working there for five years. Of course, periods, not for full time all the time, but anyhow, that the same person and the other artists too, that they've been same artists working with the same units for many years already. Periods during the autumn time, and then the spring, couple of months every week. So I think comes quite close to artists in residence.
Yeah, we just need to find ways to kind of have the funding. But luckily we have Mikko, so. I was about to ask, how much time do I have?
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. It's kind of it would be nice to somehow go back to ourselves also. Like I think when we are doing like one-to-one or kind of doing with people, it's important because we do what we love and what we enjoy. So that there's really something that we really do enjoy ourselves and we can share. So I was kind of wondering what kind of one-to-one what kind of one-to-one piece or art kind of do you like, or would you like, or would you like to have in your life? Kind of, yeah.
Maybe I could answer this. I was wondering, maybe at Pölkkä or some other place, we could have this music painting session where there's this artist and, for example, a member of Pölkkä, and we could paint like having a conversation without using words. Like I would paint something, then the artist would paint something, and the music, the member or customer or patient could choose the music and the color scheme. So it would be like a setting like this.
What about if there would be like a weekly hour? Everyone would know that, okay, now I can go there to Pölkkä and have a conversation without words, and everyone would be like waiting for this situation to happen, because I can imagine it would be lovely. Okay, now I can have a conversation without words with someone. Like that would be like a really nice idea, Virpi. Really nice idea. Thanks. How about the rest of you? What are you kind of longing for?
I got also inspired by Harry's work yesterday, like the one other member, and about the barn and how it was so nicely made, and I could see our male members were enthusiastic by the barn itself. So I wasn't thinking this to myself, but I was thinking about our male members, that how cool it would be have this kind of one-to-one art where they could, because they're very familiar with building stuff, with the wood and nails and hammer and saws and everything. But if you would use it for something else than the traditional make a chair or fix a door or something like that, but they would actually make some art out of it using their skill with the familiar materials. So could have an artist and a member to build something different with the familiar materials and tools.
Great.
Both of your ideas sound very good. I would take part in either one. As for other dreams, yeah, I don't know, but they're in development. In the meantime, I'll participate in your ideas.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very beautiful ideas, very inspiring. So yeah, I think it's, yeah, very I enjoy, and can imagine this, like, yeah. For myself, I would say, yeah, I enjoy something that, why I find special in the possibility of one-to-one. If and when, where the exchange happens also between two people, and that something new can grow out of it also, which can only happen because of these two people. Yeah, so something new or unexpected, which is like unique to the moment. Yeah, or this is what.
Yeah, I have to say that I was kind of drawn onto this idea of discussion without words, since discussing with words, it can be somehow challenging sometimes. Maybe this moment, this experience also makes me think that it would be nice if we could do this panel just without words, playing. That's very tempting idea, but also life being quite hectic and very cognitive. I have to say that Jaako's work with which we started today, kind of the meditation was also drawing me into it. Maybe something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of. I also felt that, okay, what do I need now? Maybe I've been organizing a festival. Just kind of, I could kind of use this one-to-one piece where I could kind of rest a bit. And luckily there are like a lot of one-to-one pieces actually like that we might be just lying down and listening. Like we have like Sonic Migrations by Julia Galina here this year, and they're like, so yeah, I kind of miss this kind of I could take this, or maybe I could take this kind of fantasy super treatment kind of, I don't know what, but like I'm sure there are like pieces like that, and it's like forest, like, I mean, although like going outside in the forest and sleeping well is and eating well is what you need for rest, but maybe kind of art can give like, resting in art could kind of give dreams on top of that, like not just normal sleeping, but some like dreaming, more dreaming maybe. So yeah. I see some movement there.
What does it mean? No one knows. Yeah, I'm sorry we are running out of time. It's been amazing to follow your discussion and very inspiring words from all of you. Timo, is there something that how do you want to somehow conclude this discussion?
Just that there are like so many things are possible in one-to-one art, but they are sometimes like hard to see and find, and so it's kind of also like requires the work that's not so fun as Mikko first said. So it's kind of we just have to work on it to kind of make it real.
Thank you for the panelists. And don't forget to add something onto the tablecloths if you feel like it. There you have seen they writing something down, so I would be interested to see what's in there. Okay, thank you. You might sit right there before going to the lunches, if that's fine. I'm just going to say a few words what is happening next. So the workshops here at Valve start at 1 p.m. And if you feel insecure of where are you going, what did you which workshop are you going to? You can ask me or Aino or Tuija. We will be around here, so don't hesitate to ask. And you can see the places here, but also don't hesitate to ask. We will lead you. And then another thing, notice that Kehä-festival is ongoing tomorrow and the day after. So Friday from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the evening, and Saturday from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening. There will be, you can experience one-to-one art pieces around Valve, and they are amazing. So feel free and feel welcome to come and experience as many of them as you can. Okay. I will thank you all very warmly here at Valve and there online. Thank you, everybody, and take care of yourselves.
The brochures that there somewhere you can grab them. The
Sorry?
brochures, esitteet, käsiohjelmat. Sanoitko sä niistä?
I didn't say about those, but the brochures will be at the lobby. Is there something you want to add on to that?
No, I'm just giving them out all the time. These brochures that have the Kehä timetable, so you can book your place and see what is on. So I was like, grab a brochure.
Good. Thank you.